What's going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 157 of the MudWatch Sports Podcast on this Monday, April 20th, 2026. I'm your host, Zach Malum. But before we get started, please subscribe below. Follow all of my social accounts. Let's start things off in the world of basketball as the New York Knicks were in action on Saturday evening as they welcomed the Atlanta Hawks to Madison Square Garden. Game one of the Eastern Conference first round. And the Knicks take game one, 113-102, the final. The Knicks got 28 points from Jalen Brunson. Karl Anthony Towns had 25 points with 19 of them coming in the second half. He also finished the game with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. Just a great game overall from Cat. And I mentioned Brunson, who started off red hot in the first quarter. He ended up hitting 9 field goals in the first quarter, had over 20 points. He did slow down for the rest of the game after that. He was lucky that his guys next to him in OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns ended up stepping up for him. OG Anunoby, real big contributor for the Knicks in this one. 18 points, 6 of 9 shooting from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He also had 8 rebounds and a steal in this game. Great stuff from him, and the Knicks stepped up when they needed to. They also really did a good job on the defensive end, in my opinion. Everybody else besides the top scorers for Atlanta was really struggling in this game. The Hawks only shoot 44% from the field, 38% from beyond the arc. It was just the Knicks came down to the wire, and when it got close, the Knicks pulled away and started hitting big-time shots. They shot 48% from beyond the arc, and that was very efficient in this game as well. The other thing, they got to the free throw line, and that was a clear difference in this game, especially based on the final score. The Knicks outscore the Hawks by 13 at the charity stripe, and when you look at the percentages, 83% from the line for the Knicks, 63% from the line for the Atlanta Hawks. So the Knicks get a big-time win. Game one, it's important to really start the series strong, and I think when you're looking at this series overall, I mentioned it a couple of days ago, the Knicks got to win their games at home. If they do that, I don't think the Hawks really have a chance. I think if the Knicks win their games at home, they'll probably win a game or 2 on the road, and that'll be the end of this series. So when you're looking at this Knicks team, just control things on your home floor, and that's exactly what they did in game one on Saturday night. They head into game two tonight. It's an 8 o'clock start at Madison Square Garden. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round, and the Knicks come into this game as 6.5-point favorites, total sitting at 217.5. Big-time game for the Knicks. It's also a big-time game for the Atlanta Hawks. They're going to have a lot of motivation to learn from what they did wrong in game 1, bring it to game 2, and try to be better at it and take it to this Knicks team. If Atlanta can grab a win here, it's a whole different series when they head down south in a couple of days. The next game will be on Thursday down in Atlanta. But right now, the Knicks need to focus on this game on their home floor and continue to do what they did the other day, and that is shoot the ball efficiently when they needed to. Get some stops on the defensive end when you need to. And that's what they did the other night. They have to do that once again tonight. It's an 8 o'clock start at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks and the Hawks, Game 2, Eastern Conference first round. Make sure you tune into this one later. Let's finish things off today in the world of baseball as both the teams were in action this week. And we start things out in Chicago as the New York Mets took on the Chicago Cubs, a 3-game set at Wrigley Field, and the Mets continue to slide. The losing streak is now up to 11 games, their longest since 2004. It's been a disaster for the Mets so far this season. And then you look at the last couple of series before this, the sweep against the Athletics, they get swept at Citi Field. Then you go out to LA against the reigning champs in the Los Angeles Dodgers. They outduel you in both pitching and hitting throughout the series. And then you go to this series at Wrigley Field where the Cubs have not been great this year. They're also dealing with some injuries right now, especially to their pitching, that they really have not had a guy completely step up for them just yet. They also did not have a winning record coming into this series. So you're expecting the Mets maybe bounce back. It's a much different series than they had out in LA. And every single time the Cubs found an answer against this Mets team, it was a disaster from the start in terms of Friday's game. 12-4 loss, and it was Kodai Senga who was on the mound for the Mets, and another first inning blow up by a Mets pitcher. This one was Kodai Senga, and overall in the game, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 6 earned runs with 3 walks, 3 Ks. Just not good enough in the end. The Mets could not get anything going from Kodai Senga early on. They also couldn't get much on the offensive side. They got a good rally going in the second inning where Marcus Semien hit an RBI double into the Ivy. Then you have Tyrone Taylor hits a 2-run single. It makes it 4-3. You're thinking, all right, well, the Mets offense woke up. And Kodai Senga then lets up a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the second to Nico Hoerner, who had a phenomenal series himself to make it 6-3 Cubs, though, and 6 runs on the board. It's only the second inning. That was just continuing to hurt the Mets, and they allowed 6 more runs throughout the game. Just all throughout the Cubs lineup they were hitting. The Mets could not keep up. They lose it 12-4 in the series opener, but you saw the confidence from this Mets offense, not something that you really saw in that Dodgers series. So maybe a little bit of turn for this Mets offense. Then it got to Saturday, and the offense stalled out again. It just wasn't a great game overall. It started off strong. Mark Vientos hits a bomb into left center field, 434 feet to give the Mets a 1-0 lead. But after that, it was a pitcher's duel. Freddie Peralta, Jameson Taillon, neither could really allow too much to happen. And a lot of these guys in both of these lineups were really struggling. But you look at the Mets offense, and they could not get much going throughout the game. They had a couple guys who stepped up. Lindor had 2 hits. Robert had 2 hits. But other than that, a hit from Vientos, which was the home run, a hit from Semien as well, and then Bo Bichette had a hit himself. Just not good enough in the end. Throughout the lineup, they did not get enough production. And in the 6th inning, a questionable move in the end by Carlos Mendoza, where he keeps Freddie Peralta in. Of course, Freddie Peralta was dealing. He ended up walking a couple of guys in that 6th inning. Then he brings in Brooks Raley. He brings in the lefty. Of course, the Cubs challenge that with a pinch hitter themselves. Carson Kelly comes up to the plate as the pinch hitter instead of the lefty that was supposed to be up in Ballesteros. And then you look at Freddie Peralta out of the game, Brooks Raley in the game. First pitch, see you later. As Carson Kelly sends it into left center field, a 405-foot bomb into left center, and it's 4-1 Cubs in the blink of an eye. And that's really the story for the Mets right now. Any decision that they end up making, any move that they go to, it just doesn't work out for them. And that's what it came down to in this game. Peralta ends up getting charged with the 3 earned runs and ends up getting charged with the loss as well. He moves to 1-2 on the year. Final game of the 3-game set was yesterday. And this one, there's just no explanation for this. The Mets coming into this game, 10 straight losses, just find a way to win and get back home, get on the flight, get everybody back. And that's just not going to happen right now with how this team is playing. They got production from MJ Melendez, and they have so since he was called up to the majors by the Mets. He ends up hitting a home run in the 5th inning, solo shot, 1-0 Mets. But the bottom of the 9th, they bring in Devin Williams. That's what he's here to do, is come in and save games and bring these guys back when they need it the most. And of course, he gives up an RBI double to Michael Conforto into right field. Kingery comes around to score, and the Cubs tie it at 1 in the bottom of the 9th. They go to the 10th. Of course, the Mets end up having trouble there, cannot get the ghost runner in, and they end up losing the game in the bottom of the 10th, where the Cubs move a runner. Pete Crow Armstrong's on third base, and Nico Hoerner, another questionable decision by Carlos Mendoza, decides not to walk Hoerner, ends up facing Hoerner instead of ending up facing Michael Busch. He doesn't do that, and the Mets end up paying for it as Hoerner ends up driving in the run. Crow Armstrong scores. It's 2-1, the final, and Craig Kimbrell gets credited with the loss in this one for the Mets. 0-1 on the year. Just 2/3 of an innings pitched, no hits allowed, no earned runs, but the 1 run allowed, no walks, and 1 strikeout. It's just a disaster right now for this Mets team. They cannot catch a break anywhere. And I think when you're looking at this Mets offense, that's where the problem starts, because in these couple of games, I understand that the pitching blew up a couple of nights ago, especially in the Dodgers series on Wednesday. They allowed 8 runs in the game. Then on Friday, they allowed 12 runs in the game. The other games, though, when you're looking at that Dodgers series all the way back on Monday, 4-0 game, the offense invisible. Then you have Tuesday's game, Nolan McLean, your best pitcher on the mound. You only put up 1 run for him. Then on Saturday, you end up getting a pretty solid start out of Freddie Peralta, but you only put up 2 runs in the game. And of course, the Cubs can put up more than that. And then you look at Sunday's game, and the Mets only had 1 run on the board. That's not going to win you many baseball games. You cannot rely on this staff, as good as they are, to only allow 1 run or fewer during a game. It's not going to happen that way. And the Mets offense needs to be so much better. I understand Juan Soto's out of the lineup right now, and that's hurt them desperately. It's been seen in the last couple of weeks or so. But they have to be so much better in terms of they have plenty of players that can live up to not what Juan Soto can do exactly in terms of the home run, the power, and all that, but pretty close to it. Francisco Lindor is a guy who hit 30-plus home runs last year, 90-plus RBIs. Bo Bichette is one of the most clutch players in all of baseball coming into this year, and has been throughout his career. He's done nothing so far for this Mets team. Jorge Polanco's been invisible. They brought him in the summer. Then you have, or in the winter. Then you have Marcus Semien. They also brought him in during the winter. They traded Brandon Nimmo, a guy who's red hot right now. Marcus Semien's the complete opposite. Cannot get on base, cannot rack up some hits for this Mets team. And I think that's really where they're lacking. Their offseason has been so abysmal so far in terms of what they were planning on doing and what it's been so far in the first 22 games of the season. It's just not good enough right now for the Mets. And they head into a 3-game set at Citi Field. The Minnesota Twins come to town. It's going to be Nolan McLean on the mound to open things up tomorrow night. He's going up against Mick Abel, and it's going to be a 7-10 start as the Mets just try and get anything going, try to bounce back, rely on your ace. He's got a 2.28 ERA on the season. He's been really, really good so far. They have to just really just give him some hope, put up some runs, and allow him to do his thing. If he gets a little bit of run support, this should be an easy Mets win. That's how it should be for the Mets right now. But, I mean, if you looked at the last couple of games or so, the last couple of series, if the Mets try anything like that, it's probably going to go against them. And that's just really where they're at right now. The losing streak is up to 11. Don't let it get to 12. That's what you got to do tomorrow, and we'll see what happens as the Mets end up taking on the Minnesota Twins, a 3-game set at Citi Field. But on the other side of New York, and where we finish things off, is with the New York Yankees, as they ended up getting a series sweep over the Kansas City Royals. Just completely dominated all 3 games. Great job by the Yankees, especially offensively. They stepped up, and their pitchers were pretty good throughout the series. And when you look at Friday, it was a 4-2 Yankee victory. And I give credit right away to Ben Rice, who's just been raking so far. Absolutely one of the best hitters in all of baseball so far this year. Really, really good stuff. And I think when you're looking at the home run in the 4th inning, it's just become a regular thing from Ben Rice. He's been hitting the ball well, whether it's in the park, out of the park, whatever you want. Ben Rice is doing it, and he gave the Yankees a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Royals, give them credit. They responded. Couple of RBIs for Vinny Pasquantino, including a solo shot in the top of the 8th. Ryan McMahon, though, a guy who's really gotten a lot of slack so far this season, and I think Ryan McMahon heading into this game knew maybe he'd get his chance, but probably not. He ends up coming up to the plate, a pinch hitter in the 8th inning, Ahmed Rosario, and you bring in the lefty and Ryan McMahon, and now Ryan McMahon stepping up to the plate. I don't know how this ball got out, only 372 feet, but thank you to Yankee Stadium. The ball did get out, and the Yankees end up taking a 4-2 lead on a 2-run bomb by Ryan McMahon. David Bednar comes in for the save, and he only pitches an inning in this one, gets the save. Really good stuff from him to lock things down at the back end. But this one was all about Ryan McMahon and what he was able to do with the big moment. And the big moment on the line, Ryan McMahon steps up, gives the Yankees a victory. That's exactly what you hoped for. And, of course, Ryan McMahon stepped up. A big-time moment. Maybe that's a turning point for Ryan McMahon in this season. He's been very frustrated. He talked about it after the game, just very frustrated with how things have gone so far, and knows that almost his job is on the line in a lot of cases here. And he steps up and gives the Yankees a huge boost. They end up winning it 4-2, and they were coming off of a series split against the Angels where they don't think they played their best baseball. It's great to get a win when they needed it the most on Friday night. Give credit to McMahon. And then you go to Saturday where the offense could not be stopped. They completely jumped all over Noah Cameron in this game. He only pitched 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks in the game. Just home runs after singles, after doubles, after home runs. I mean, everything you wanted from this Yankees offense, you got it on Saturday afternoon. And Ahmed Rosario started it off with a 2-run bomb in the 3rd inning. Cody Bellinger added a 2-run bomb right after that. Ben Rice ended up finishing it with a solo bomb in the 3rd. And a 5 spot in the 3rd inning really helped the Yankees out. They got an RBI double after that from Escara, an RBI single from Bellinger, an RBI single from Rosario. I mean, just all up and down the lineup, you got something from this Yankees team. The only one that you didn't really get much from in this game was Aaron Judge, who just kind of took the day off and went 0 for 2 on the day, did score a run, walked a couple times, struck out swinging a couple times, but not needed. Didn't need much there. They ended up taking him out of the game later on. Okay, Aaron Judge gets an off day in this one, and the Yankees win it 13-4. Give credit to the Yankee lineup. They've really stepped up, and they did so once again on Sunday. It was a 3-hour rain delay, but they gave Ryan Weathers run support after not giving him that in the first couple of starts. Really rough couple of games for him where he pitched pretty well, just did not get the result in the end. Ends up getting the win this time. 7 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no runs with 1 walk and 8 Ks. And the Yankees jumped on Cole Reagans here. 7-0. They put up 7 earned runs. The Yankees win it 7-0 and heading into another tough series now. Rivalry series up in Boston. They head to Fenway Park, and this one starts tomorrow. It's a 6:45 start at Fenway. Luis Gil gets the ball for the Yankees. 0-1 on the year, 7.00 ERA in 9 innings pitched. Hasn't been a great couple of starts for Gil, and hopefully he could bounce back against this Red Sox team that's kind of struggling right now. They are in action as we speak, an afternoon game here at Fenway, but then you look at their record, 8-13 right now, and it's not been pretty, especially at Fenway, 4-5 on the year. And then you look at who's going to start the game for them. Something positive there. Connolly Early, who's 1-0 on the year, 2.29 ERA in 19 2/3 innings pitched. He gets the ball, the lefty does, for the Red Sox in this game. So we'll see what happens, but you need a good start out of Luis Gil. That's really the biggest thing for the Yankees heading into this matchup. You're hoping that you get that. If you do, you feel a lot better about Luis Gil heading towards the rest of this season. But the Yankees head into a 3-game rivalry series. It's the Yankees and the Red Sox at Fenway. Make sure to tune into this one tomorrow. But we have a NFL draft preview show coming out tomorrow where we talk all about the Jets and the Giants heading into the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday. But that will do it for episode 157 of the MudWatch Sports Podcast. Please subscribe below. I've been Zach Malum, and thanks for watching, and talk to you all tomorrow.